And we're back. It's been a while. I haven't seen you since England dominated the rest of the world in the T20 World Cup. But we're back with a different flavour, and this time it's a review of Test match cricket on the flattest deck that's ever been made, the Rawalpindi Road. Tim, what do you think?
What do I think? I do think it's one of the worst Test cricket wickets I've ever seen. Not as bad as Ahmedabad, but definitely one of the worst. But absolutely sensational from England to even make a game of it. I think if you'd had that Test match a year ago, it just would have been a boring score draw. Both teams would have gone home, shook hands in the third innings or something like that. But the way England are playing cricket right now is stunning, and it's completely revolutionised the way it is. And we wouldn't have had a game, let alone a result, had Stokes and McCullum not been at the forefront of it. And it's been bloody good fun.
Why is it revolutionary to try and win games of cricket, Tim?
Because in the history of cricket, no one has ever tried to win a game before in their life.
This is why
they play for draws. Everyone, including you.
I've never played for a draw.
And you lot listening at home.
I've never played for a draw. I've deliberately thrown games for cash, but that's a conversation for another time. Well, actually, Tim, we're 30 seconds in. You've already upset me.
Why?
Because this is something that's been bothering me on all of cricketing, social media, the world, and everything.
Go on.
Is that this view that winning a game of cricket and trying to win a game of cricket with positive cricket is reinventing the game?
Well, I think it is though. Like going over 6 runs and over for both innings is reinventing it. Positive cricket, okay, fair enough. Like the Australian teams of the late 90s and noughties played in an incredibly positive manner, and they revolutionised the way Test cricket is played. This is it on another scale, in my opinion. That I get the point on trying to win a game of cricket. People have tried to win games of cricket for years, and what I was saying before was slightly in jest. But I can't fathom if they'd have gone to 90 overs in that first day, they'd have scored 600.
Yes,
that's fucking mental. That is twice as much as your normal score is 300 in it. End of the day.
Question.
Yeah.
Brendan McCullum.
Yeah.
Ben Stokes. They're in the Rawalpindi Holiday Inn the night before the game.
Yeah.
And Baz sits him down, and he looks at him, and he says, "Tomorrow, Stokes, I'll try Kiwi."
Go on, try it.
Just place me with a Kiwi accent. Sucks and shiver.
You've got to fuzz it in.
You've got to fuzz it in.
You're great lacking slut.
Bun. Tomorrow, we're going to try and score 600. I've just not done a Kiwi in a very long time. And then Stokesy looks back at him and he's like, "Oh, all right then, Boss Lake. We'll definitely do that tomorrow, man." Or do you think it went something a little bit along the lines of they got there in the morning and Stokesy's come back to the changing room and he's looked at Baz and he's gone, "Oh, it's a road out there, like. It's flat as anything, man. We're going to score 700 today, like." When do you think the planning started?
First, you sound like that geezer off Alan Partridge.
That was probably closer to Mark Wood than it was Ben Stokes, but I've not heard Ben Stokes talk in a while. Obviously, no one's ever.
He doesn't do any interviews.
Brendan McCullum doesn't talk. Does
he? When did they decide to go like that? I don't think they did. I think if you actually look at the way they played, until Stokes came to the crease in the first innings, they played normal cricket shots. They just got rid of the bad ball, and then when the spinners came on, they played in. Duckett in particular played in an aggressive manner where he can naturally open up the field both sides and can destroy spinners. So I actually don't think they were reckless in that first innings at all. They played positive cricket shots and they got rid of the bad ball. That was it. I don't think they went out and got, "We're going to score 600 here, Pet."
How we're Brendan, man, we're going to score 600, like. Accurate. So, right, fair enough. But then, are you suggesting that this was 70 overs of the worst Test match bowling possible on that deck?
The bowling was pretty ordinary, and I actually thought the field setting was fucking ordinary.
I noticed there were a lot of balls that just went past one fielder and they were full.
Yeah.
There was never... there was never a moment where you're going to look at the field and go, "You know what, mate? You know what, lads? Might be time for a sweeper here."
Yeah.
Might be time for a little bit of protection. I know they're going at 6.5 and over on the first day.
They didn't, did they?
No.
Like normally, when someone gets after you, they send the deep square out, and even the deep point, don't they? They just do away with the point. What?
You know.
What? You're saying I've been round the bins? But they didn't do any of that, and like they kept the mid on and mid off up for the spinners for poor old Zayn Mahmood.
Yeah.
Like,
Zayd was. Oh God.
Is that a good forfeit? Are you taking that before the game?
Just a note. This is what would have happened to Ahmed had he played for England in this Test match. That would have been a career ender in the first innings against Pakistan. 19-year-old leg spinner would have gone for 400 on that deck easily.
Do you not think they're going to pop him in for Livingston next Test in Multan?
I thought Liam, he doesn't have the quickly shits. No, that was Ben Folkes is ill, isn't he?
Folkes is ill.
Yeah. Yes.
Ahmed for Livingston.
Yeah.
Folkes sits out.
Well, that's the.
Just proves that you don't really need a real wicket keeper,
We
don't it?
do. Well, actually, I think there were a couple of moments where, had things gone slightly against England, we might have lost that 5 minutes that won us the Test match. Had it not, well, there were a couple of moments. There was one drop from Pope towards the end of that last day, wasn't there? Where you think Ben Folkes gets that because he's a wicket keeper and a good one, whereas Ollie Pope is a good wicket keeper, but you wouldn't go, he's a good keeper, you know.
Did a job though, didn't he?
He did a lovely job, and that was a lovely grab down the leg side. And one of the what I like the aesthetics of it is because the wicket was so slow and low, is how close they were all standing. It just made it all feel a little bit club as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Keeper up to Ollie Robinson.
Yeah,
brilliant. Love that.
Right. And how good Ollie Robinson has been, magnificent. So let's do what everyone else does and say, hasn't he got himself fit, Tim?
He has. He looks in great.
So what
nick.
would you say? What's he done? He's stayed away from chip shops. Has he made sure that his drive home doesn't involve KFC, Burger King, and Wendy's?
Wendy's?
That was the next fast food restaurant that came into my head.
Where did you get a Wendy's from?
Used to be able to get one at Hollywood Bowl, Finchley.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. What was he done? Spent more time in the gym? That can't be it. I think you've got to make a wholesale lifestyle change.
I think he's just cut out bread.
That's probably it, isn't it?
Just bread. That's it. Done a few more deadlifts.
You should see me when I cut out bread.
Yeah.
What a rake thing.
You should try.
It's on an upward trajectory at the moment, Tim. But and Christmas is coming.
Just bulking, aren't you?
I've been bulking now for about 6 months, so.
Yeah, but it's all going to pay off.
Eventually, when I cut, you're going to see the gains. So magnificent, Brody, and being able to bowl for that long in that heat on that flat of a deck, and then he just came on and thought to myself on that last day, thank fuck it's not Stuart Broad. Oh my God. It would have been like watching a flannel bowl against Pakistan for 20 odd overs.
He would have whinged all 5 days, wouldn't he?
And like made sort of dry remarks in interviews afterwards, which wouldn't have helped the general vibe. It would have been like, yeah, it's a nightmare to bowl on, isn't it? You know, an absolute graveyard. Yeah, hating it. Shut up, Broady. Let Ollie Robinson take all the wickets for England forever now. Fine. Mark Wood as well. He can come back. Don't mind him.
Yeah.
Just
Toby Rowland-Jones.
Yeah. Nibble.
Darren Patterson.
I don't think Toby Rowland-Jones would have done much on that.
Toby Rowland-Jones had a year in the sun, mate.
He had a what?
Year in the sun, isn't it?
Yeah. So
What
I
is
heard that. No, I didn't hear that. I thought you said something like a yib in a sun, and I don't know what that means. I thought it was a northern thing.
Yeah. You're
Anyway,
back hanging out with your London metropolitan elite, aren't you?
no, that's me now. That's me. Yeah. Well, sorry about the time we've been away from the podcast. Obviously, it's just been a bit of a mad time, and you know we've really appreciated the sport during the World Cup, and so hopefully you'll carry on listening.
Not all disappear.
Yeah.
Listening to BBC TMS instead. Right, have you got point number 2? Was that point number 1?
Yeah, that was kind of point number 1 encapsulated into a lot of stuff, which was really wondering where it all started, where this brainchild was, and also I suppose that kind of carries on to my second point, which is where does it go from here? Does everyone else in the world say, right, this is how we're going to play cricket. Because let's be honest, 1 through 11, are England best placed in the world to play this style of cricket?
Maybe this style, but I still think it's got all the potential in the world to come crumbling down terribly. And like, let's not forget, okay, we've had one summer at home. I'd expect England to win at home, and okay, we've beaten some really good teams at home, and we've had some unbelievable moments where we've chased down big scores in record time, etc. But the real test of like a good English side is winning in Australia and winning in India, and that is when we'll know if we're any good or not. Personally,
right? But does Pakistan count as like winning in India now?
No.
Okay, not at all.
No.
All right, but they are quite good.
Yeah, but it's different.
All right, I know it's like, all right.
It's a lot flatter for a start.
It is true. It's very flat, isn't it? Although India get huge scores on slow, low ones.
When they want, when they're not playing a side that might beat them. What you watch them in? We've got Australia coming up. You watch the wickets.
What do you think will happen?
Old mate will be on the phone again.
Yeah.
There'd be some dust bowls.
I really hope Australia lose lots of test matches. I'm sorry.
What's your opinion on it? Do you think we're...
I think what's happened is that, like I said in the first few minutes of this podcast, is that positive brand of cricket, yes, but just wanting to win every game of cricket does change your mentality to an extent where I think the rest of the world, every time they're playing England, are going to have to do that. Or I know that there'd be an understandable position where you say, no, actually, just by being defensive against England, they're going to fuck up eventually and you're going to win test matches. But what the last however many test matches it has been since Bing Bang Bosh Ball has started, we are winning more than we're losing playing this style of cricket.
Yeah, and they're not afraid of losing. They couldn't give a shit if they lost.
That makes me wince a little bit, that.
Why?
Not afraid of losing.
They're not afraid of losing.
Not afraid.
Joe Root would have been afraid of losing, and he would have declared halfway through the fifth day.
Yeah. But why is that though? Why are they not scared? Is it because Brendan McCullum's got sleeve tattoos?
Yeah.
And so does Benson. Maybe that's it. Maybe all we need is sleeve tattoos.
Every club captain in the UK needs a sleeve tattoo. That's probably it, isn't it?
That's the secret of Bazball.
Sleeves.
Bosh. Well, I suppose that covers Bazball and winning in Pakistan, Tim. And we'll probably now go on to lose the next test. I'd imagine trying to score 700 on the first day. But I think what I want to talk about next is England's top 6. Right. And have we now discovered 4 of them for the next 10 years based on that first innings?
I think 10 years is a push.
Well, Ollie Pope will only be 30-something in 10 years' time.
No, not yet. I'm not convinced yet.
Yeah.
I don't know whether Duckett and Crawley against the swinging Dukes in England, that's still a question.
You don't think Duckett can reverse sweep people in the second over?
I'd fucking love to see it. I'd love to see it. No, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced yet. I think they're fabulous. They're incredibly talented and they're amazing. But let's see them have a summer at home against the Dukes, against a good bowling attack, scoring runs, and then maybe we can look at that. I mean, it's been one game on an incredibly flat wicket. Let's not forget Pakistan also, their top 4. 3 of them scored hundreds as well.
Yeah. I don't think there was a duck in the test match, which says a lot, doesn't it?
It was flat. It was very. It didn't do anything. Yeah. That's not to take away, like, scoring runs is hard.
Yeah.
I've never scored runs.
Harry Brook looked.
Just one point on him.
No.
I think he's the most complete batsman we've produced in England.
Yeah. It's Joe Root on steroids, isn't it?
It is. It's Joe Root, but then he's got these extra facets. Yeah. Like, he's as technically sound as Joe Root, but he can then also get rid of the ball like Ben Stokes can.
He's also, a joke. He's got that vibe of, like, you know how deep down Marnus Labuschagne and Steve Smith are actually quite tragic You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's a real. I mean, I'm not saying this in a bad way.
Right,
Like
okay.
I'm saying this in a kind of loving way. They really fucking love cricket to the extent it's fucking sad. I love cricket.
A bit like us two.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, but we can't bat like Harry Brooks, Steve Smith, and Marnus Labuschagne. But he just feels so wholesomely club cricket.
He does feel very club cricket. And did you notice when they took a picture of all 4 Centurions?
Yeah.
He'd put his, he'd use his whites as a wash bag.
Yeah.
Super proper club cricket that.
Perfect, isn't it? Yorkshire lad.
Yorkshire lad. He definitely stops by the chippy for on the way home.
No question, no question. Family really heavily involved in the club.
Oh yeah.
Massively.
Mum does the teas.
Yeah.
Dad's an umpire.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
No question. They've just always been around the club, you know.
Yeah, the brother, first team captain.
Is he?
Probably.
Still there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Great lad.
Probably. He was a better cricketer than Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best thing they did as well,
Yeah.
get lion bars behind the bar. That was a really good decision by them. It was well done. Yeah. It's little things like that, isn't it? Little things
Make
like
a club. Sorry, I butted in there.
Did you?
Yeah, I think so.
What was the talk
So if
about?
you, I don't know. I'm talking about Harry Brooks.
Oh yeah, no, he just looked imperious, just looked magnificent. But the point is, I'm trying to say is, you know, I think, you know, deep down, anyone who's here listening to this, including us, and who loves this sport, is essentially a tragic in some way, because that is kind of the.
Yeah, but we should embrace that.
We should, I without question. And let me tell you this, Tim. There's a flannel side to being a tragic. And then there's a kind of empowering side to be a tragic.
There's the Livingston tragic, the Liam Livingston,
Right, okay.
brash, I love cricket, but watch me bomb the fuck out of it. And then there's a tragic, I love cricket, who is probably more of a Marnus Labuschagne, who I play one-on-one bounce in my back garden when I'm in my 20s.
But again, I celebrate that.
But there's 2 sides of the coin.
But there is fucking hugely 2 sides of that coin. Marnus Labuschagne's never getting a sleeve tattoo.
No, you wouldn't suit him, would it?
It's never happening. So I guess that kind of covers everything I wanted to say about Harry Brook and England's top 6, other than obviously they're going to dominate now for the next 10 years, and we've definitely found our opening partnership in Crawley and Duckett, and yes, he will definitely do it on an overcast day at Old Trafford when it's just nibbling around a little bit against, I assume, a 47-year-old Southie.
47?
Well, yeah, I'm picturing 10 years' time now, so I'm trying to work. I don't know how old those two
Maybe
are.
his son.
Yeah, maybe his son.
How long do you think it would have taken for you, William Mumford, Munners to many,
Yeah.
to take a wicket on that pitch?
Well, it's game situation dependent, as always, Tim. But I think if I'd been bowling from both ends,
Both ends?
if I was bowling from both ends.
That's not possible.
Okay, well, if I bowled from one end for England
Yeah.
for the entire Test match,
But what are you bowling?
I know I'm changing depending on the situation.
And your conditioning is good enough for that, is it?
100%. You've seen it. We will see it when we meet the Kent S&C coach.
Hopefully.
Who's doing skin folds?
We're doing skin folds.
Just thinking we can be in context on that.
Yeah, come on, we're going to have to tell people.
So we're, as you might or might not know, we're doing a YouTube series where we go and try things that professional cricketers do, and we try and learn different skills. And one of them is that we're going to do strength and conditioning with Kent's S&C. And he, in an email today, told us that he's going to be doing skin folds with us, as well as a yo-yo test. Just to measure up to see where we are with professional cricket. I'd tell you what, when he puts it into the ECB database, he's going to be going, I've never seen anything like this since Cosgrove. Get him in.
Yeah, do you reckon we'll be in worse shape than the worst professional cricketer? You know, like that Northants side that had Rory Kleinveld in it.
Yeah, some big Levy, some big Cobb, big boys.
I reckon we'll be worse.
Yeah. Well, if that data is available, I'd like to compare myself, because I'd 100% reckon I'm worse. And the other thing is, I know they're going to be running a better yo-yo test than me. 100% they're going to be running a better yo-yo than me. And I want to ask him beforehand. I go, what did Steve-O do last year? Like, what did Steve-O do in this test last year? Probably on a walking stick, outrunning me. Unbelievable. Anyway.
Right, back to it. Munners. Let's restart again. Yeah. So Munners. How long would it take you to take a wicket on that Rawalpindi pitch?
I think it would take me 83 overs.
You'd have to bowl 83
I
overs.
would have to bowl 83 overs.
So not 83 overs in the day.
I would bowl. So it would be late on the second day that I would take a wicket.
Be
Actually,
166 overs in.
Tell a lie. It would be early on the third morning that I would take a wicket. And I would be bowling right arm straight breaks round the wicket against Zahid Mahmood, and he would sky one straight down long on's throat. What I'd do is I'd bring my arm a little bit slower the ball before, draw him out a little bit, just think I'm going to come down the deck to him. Next ball, grenade, hit that Zahid, straight down long on. I've put Crawley there for height, just in case.
How many runs have you gone for?
Anywhere between 500 and 740.
So 1 for 500, you take?
1 for 500.
From 83 overs?
Yeah. Fuck me, he bowled well in those middle overs. Should have seen me. Got through them.
Slow balls into the pitch.
Bowled them quickly. Bowled them really quickly. Because I knew the light was coming. And I kept getting the ball back. Fuck, he's roughed it up as well. It's reversing.
But that was your role?
Yeah, it was.
To get it reversing for Jimmy?
Interestingly, I and this is no word of a lie to him, I used to reverse it.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You've never reversed when you're bowling your own.
I've got eyewitnesses.
You have to bowl about like 80 mile an hour to reverse it.
I was rapid.
No.
I promise you, I was one of the quicker 17-year-olds in the country.
Why were you a wicket keeper then?
Well, because exclusively used as a net bowler, really. But I had an irregular action, and had I been born in Sri Lanka, maybe I would have played international cricket.
We'll never know.
We'll never know, and that's the magic.
That's the magic of cricket.
Yeah.
There's always someone who could have done it.
You could have done it. I think I would have been celebrated in Sri Lanka as one of the greats. There you go.
Another era as well.
No,
you would have been a T20 franchise player, I think.
True. And there would have been a day like Dhoni where I would have kept wicket and bowled at Lords. Because fuck the establishment. Fuck them.
But you were born in Barnet.
I was born in Barnet. To name but a few other struggles. But
like not being able to bowl 80 mile an hour?
Well,
or reverse it?
Why don't you just take my
Right, we're going to have to go to the nets and see you reverse it then.
Right.
I'll let you tamper with the ball as well.
Well, no, but this is the thing. Like that was when my shoulder was fresh.
Oh.
But I'll get it through. I'll still get it through. So yeah, I suppose that's the test match covered in many ways, Tim. The first test, the Rawalpindi Road, the flattest deck in the history of time, and I thought like what we did with the Cricket World Cup podcast, which were really nice, Tim, was that we sort of rounded it off in a nice, wholesome way where we slagged someone off and told them to get in the bin. But no, I think what you said earlier, and I agree with, is that this should be saved for the big ones, for the ICC tournaments.
I think getting the bin should be ICC only.
Which is
it's an ICC property.
Well, it very much
it's like
is.
MRF tyres.
Yeah. It's like those fucking NFTs they do.
Yeah, cryptos.
Yeah, and that's another thing that will probably go in the bin one day.
Well,
Oh, but having said that, Tim, they are a unique digital asset backed up by the blockchain. So that is interesting, isn't it? Come on.
What?
And Jason Roy's got a few as well. So. And you know when those boys stop playing for Surrey, they're going to be the ones laughing, aren't they? Because they're going to have a lot of cash tied up in digital assets, and they're not going to depreciate at all. I'll tell you that for free.
Right, come on.
Right, so yeah, we have a kind of place where we can tell people to get in the bin, but not in literal sense telling them to get in the bin, and I can have a little bit of a rant in a sort of way that you might do, Tim, after you get out when you bat. And what do you do when you get out when you bat?
If I'm particularly filthy, and I think a lot of people do, just disappear on your own. Just get away from all the twats that you play cricket with that you don't really like.
I once had a very disappointing spell opening the batting in club cricket, where after my third one single-digit score in a row, hitting one in the first over straight to short extra cover, I sat myself down on a bench with a grab bag of Watsits and a large Fanta fruit twist.
Okay.
And Just felt myself welling up.
So this segment is called On a Bench with a Grab Bag of Whatsits and a Fanta Fruit Twist. On the other side of the ground.
On the other side of the ground at Ealing Cricket
It's
Club.
got a ring to it.
Yep, it's catchy.
Well, let's go with it.
Right, perfect. So this week's with a grab bag of Whatsits and a large Fanta Fruit Twist on the far side of the ground.
Sat on a bench.
Sat on a bench. I want to talk about flannels on Twitter.
Fuck's sake.
Right. First of all, Tim, you started the podcast today by saying they've revolutionised the game. They've changed it. They've baseball bust, right? Yes. All right, obviously they're revolutionising the game. But like I said, they've just decided they want to win games of cricket. It's that simple. Now, why the fuck, you don't do this, so it's fine, would you think it's fine to tweet something about that every 5 minutes saying, I can't believe this is happening. I can't, have you seen this? They're still going. They're still trying to win the game. I am going to lose my mind if 15 test matches into baseball there is still some pillock on Twitter saying these guys have changed cricket forever. Well, fucking obviously. Sorry.
You done?
Yeah, I think so. I think I feel much better now.
The cricket community, I was worried then. The cricket community have been good to us.
I love them.
You just be fucking careful. You just be fucking careful. Alright?
I love them all. I love them all. I love all of the Twitter people.
Twitterati.
The Twitterati. I just think there comes a point where you don't need to say it anymore. Like, we get it. But then I also get that that's how you do well on Twitter, by saying things that you've just seen lots. You know?
Is that why we're no good on Twitter?
Probably.
Probably.
And that's probably why I'm not allowed to use the Twitter account, because I have meltdowns over things like that. Still not as bad as that bloke who tweets about mancads all the time, anyway.
And on that note,
thank you so much for listening. I've missed you guys. Have you missed me too?
Yeah. Well, we've both got busy schedules at the minute, haven't we? But we're going to try and get together either towards the end of the second test or just after the second test, and we'll do another one. But yeah, we are obviously both. This is a hobby for both of us, so we do try and fit it around our schedule. So we try as hard as possible to get it all in, and we'll try and bring you another podcast for the second test.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It would be a full-time job, but I keep slagging off all the people who might sponsor us. So
we're unsponsorable.
Fanta Fruit Twist and a grab bag of Whatsits.
I'll send them an email tomorrow.
Nice one.
Nice one.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Like, subscribe, 5 stars. Oh God, please follow.